Howdy, hello, and welcome back. Today is another video where I slap on another face in the process of becoming the one, the only Daya Betty. Howdy, hello, and welcome back. So as mentioned, today is another Becoming with Sajay episode as we are becoming from season 14 and All Stars 10, the one, the only Daya Betty. So I had a bunch of people, for those who do not know, welcome to Becoming episodes where I, Sajay Preferred, the host, put a face of a drag race girl, of a local icon, of a queer representation icon. I put their makeup on my face and I attempt new things and I try new things, and usually it doesn't work out, but here we are to do another episode. It has been a minute. It's been a second since we've done a Becoming episode, just because the schedules got a little mixed up, the timing got a little crazy, the filming did not happen, and we're not going to admit how many days before editing process this is being filmed, but that doesn't matter. We are officially back for a Becoming episode, and as mentioned, I'm going down the line of seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. I'm kind of doing this thing where I do a very cool makeup queen or entertainer from each season. With that being said, it brings us to season 14, and I had a lot of options for season 14. Deja Skye was the one that was kind of lingering in my head because I'm obsessed with her makeup. She is also on All Stars 10, and she is actually a headliner for Central Alabama Pride this year. But something really drew me to the Daya Betty new aesthetic, this new thing she's got going on where it's very edgy, very grungy. I'm obsessed, but I'm going with more so inspiration from this photo, which is literally her, I know you can't see it in the ring light, but we'll put the picture here. It's literally her website picture, and this is kind of like an in detail, more focused picture of her makeup, so that's kind of what I'm going for today. I'm already moisturized, I'm already prepped, I'm already primed, already got the face somewhat started. I did glue half of my eyebrows down, usually for the preferred episodes, girl, I'm so lost. Usually for the Becoming episodes, I glue most of the time all of my eyebrows down, all of my brow down. However, today, as mentioned, we are doing Daya Betty, and she has these very snatched brows that honestly are not going to be too hard for me because, she keeps it pretty snatched on the channel. But I did kind of want, she has these very thin brows, and I know with my brow, because I shave half my brow off for my drag makeup, and I kind of knew even with half my brow, it really wasn't going to be enough. So therefore, that's why we're kind of doing this little half brow moment. As I mentioned, though, in the first part, I did have the idea of doing the one, the only Deja Skye. So if that's something y'all would like to see, I'm still very much so down to attempt her incredible face on mine. I literally saw Daya Betty's promo, and I was obsessed with Daya Betty on her season. I, of course, think she was definitely that girl who was not afraid to speak her mind. She kind of got on a lot of people's nerves, but I feel like that's what drew me in also a lot, because it's it did take nerve, as we saw on season 17. But her old makeup style was very thick brows, very clowny, no tea, no shade. It was a lot like Crystal Method, which I'm also very here for, but I feel like that's not what I wanted to do when it came to Daya Betty. And as mentioned, her newer, more grungier aesthetic really is what drew me into ideally picking her. So therefore, I'm going to do, as mentioned, her newer makeup. But back to the original topic. Let me know if in the comments below if you would like to see me do Deja Skye. Maybe we'll do a little pause and drawback moment to season 14 so I can redo the one, the only Deja Skye. Also, season 13 is coming up when it comes to the Becoming episodes. I have had the idea of pausing the Drag Race ones to do a very interesting and queer icon to celebrate the Pride season. So let me know. That kind of gives me perfect amount of time for y'all to let me know who you would like to see me do from season 13. I definitely had a bunch of crazy ideas like Gottmik, but the only thing, of course, is I've already done Gottmik. so that really wouldn't be ideal. But of course, I had other ideas such as like Rose, the icon, the legend, the face herself, Tina Burner, who was also on All Stars 10. And then of course, I had the idea of doing Candy Muse, which I get compared to a lot when it comes to my makeup, but I think it's just a lot of people see the blush and they're like, wow, that's a lot of blush, must be Candy Muse. But let me know in the comments below who you would like to see me do from season 13. I could do the inventor of gay itself, Joke J. That's always an option. For those who are new to the channel, first off, howdy, hello, welcome, subscribe. If you are new and are not subscribed, please subscribe. I'm on a little journey here. We're approaching a little anniversary of the preferred channel, but welcome to the preferred channel. Subscribe. But this is a channel where me, myself, and I, Sajay Preferred, I like to show off all of the incredible local talent of Birmingham, Alabama, which is where I am from and reside. But one week, I guess I would say, on the preferred channel, which is every Sunday, a new video every single Sunday. But one of those Sundays, I love to do some crazy, quirky makeup because I feel like makeup is a very big part of drag, and I feel like it's something I started kind of doing makeup, so it's something I love to dabble and experiment in, and I never get the opportunity to change up my makeup really. So every Becoming episode, I like to do these random quirky ones. But if you know and are not new to the channel, you know that when it comes to these Becoming episodes, I literally just take this person's makeup and I look at it and I do it my own way and I try my hardest with this brow apparently to get it as close as possible to that person's makeup. As mentioned in the intro, it's not always there, and we're gonna see, especially with this eyebrow. I'm not mad with these brows. They are a little bit not quite Daya Betty, but as mentioned, we are gonna get to that. We're going to go in and start the face, which, I mean, as mentioned, I'm doing pretty much my normal teen. I am going to go in with a different foundation today. For those who know me, know I am like insanely crazy about using the same products over and over and over. What works for me works, and I do not like switching stuff around just because I get like anxious about it. However, Daya Betty is extremely pale, and I am also extremely pale, but my foundation is not even that pale. She does this very like angled contour. She also has the face to do it. I don't. So I'm going to try to do what she does and hope and pray that I succeed. She also doesn't really show her forehead enough to really show if it's contoured. But you know what? We're going to do it anyways. And I'm going to go in just with the access around my chin, which I never do. I never contour my chin. However, I trust this specific contour to be a little more lenient, and I can not look like I have a chin strap. Thankfully, she kind of keeps everything like to a kind of like, you know what I mean? So before I go in and start to set the entire face, I'm going to just go in, and she does a lot of like neutrally like gray, brown, or black eyeshadow, which is what I plan to do today. So I really don't have to cut a crease. So I'm going to kind of mock a crease, which means I'm just going to go in, pat this dry really quick, and immediately set it before I set the entire rest of the face. I'm going to go in with my white concealer, and I'm going to start setting the under eye, and I'm going to do it with this white concealer to make it really, really pasty white. I got most of the face, actually all of the face, set just about besides my upper eyelid. So I'm going to go in and start with the eyeshadow. And as mentioned, the photo that I'm really going off of, she does like this brownie color. However, I'm wanting to do more of her promo, so I'm going to go in with kind of like a darker gray shadow. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting where kind of the outline of the crease to where I'm going to put the what is it called, liner. I went ahead and blended that out, and now I'm just going to go back in with this white powder and add it to my underbrow. I usually like to keep my underbrow pretty wet up until I finish the blending of my eyeshadow, just because it really helps with that eyeshadow like blend better, I guess you would say. Now comes the very tedious task of doing eyeliner, and she does like this very like puppy dog liner, which I feel like is, you know, for the most part gonna be to my comfort. But I'm very terrified, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. This eyeliner is terrifying me, scaring me to my core. So I think I'm gonna try it off camera. Yeah, the liner honestly wasn't as much of a struggle as I thought it was gonna be. And honestly, that's why I did most of it off camera, because I really thought it was gonna be a struggle. Also, full tea disclosure, I went off camera for a lot of it because it was dinner time. The girl had to be fed. It was girl dinner time. But while eating dinner with full Daya Betty makeup on, we also watched All Stars 10, where bracket 2 just officially came on. How are y'all feeling about All Stars 10 so far? The cast? Let me tell y'all, the cast honestly is the tea. The cast is so good, like for real. I'm very excited for the next few brackets, specifically the second one. I was obsessed with Lydia on her season. Literally did her for the season 15 girl, which you can find that video on my channel. Thank you. But Mistress as well. I also did her on a Becoming episode. She is literally like one of my favorite queens. And I got to see her tonight on her bracket, and it was fantastic. And I honestly cannot wait to see more of her and what she has to bring to the table. To finish off the face part, I'm just going to go in while my face is kind of still damp with this extremely white powder, because she does like to do this extremely white inner part to kind of tie in the blush again, and also just to make sure that it's all even. I'm just going to do this weird smile and dabble everything back on. And then just to blend out the bottom, I'm going to take this powder brush and make sure everything is nice and blended. Now that the face part is done, I'm just going to go in with a black lipstick. And she does this really like prominent black line for her lips. And she does her lips huge. So I'm going to go in and start that. And then she goes in with like this like very baby pink in the center. So I'm going to do that as well. The lips are pretty much on. I'm going to go in and do some gloss before. But before I go in and do finishing touches, which are like the studs all around the face, the nose ring, and of course the lashes, the wig, and the outfit, I'm just going to go in and do the little moles that she does, which is one right here. So I'm going to go in. I have these little stud stones. I'm going to go in and place them where she does. I'm going to put on lips. Well, lips are already done. I'm going to put on lip gloss, lashes, the hair, the outfit, and I'll be right back with the finishing touch. So we are back with the finished look. I'm not going to lie. I'm not mad at it at all. It is actually kind of very cute. Critiques, I will say, one, I look like Dusty Ray Bottoms, which I'm not mad at. It's not a bad thing. But it is very Dusty Ray Bottoms-esque, which I kind of live for. The studs on the face actually ended up being bigger than I thought, which kind of take away. And there's some of my eyebrows that are being covered up that really take away from the moment, but it is a-okay. Same with the lashes. The lashes are also too big. And the brows were a little too thick as well for Daya Betty's face. But I'm not going to lie, overall, I am pretty happy with it. I just threw together like a very punky, grungy look to go with the moment. In the picture of her on her website that I was going off of, she wore this black little bob moment. So I thought this would be a cute little moment to go with it. But yeah, I'm not mad for my season 14 queen who is also competing on All Stars 10 and a few weeks in bracket 3. I'm not mad at all. Let me know in the comments what you think, unless you just think it's then just don't let me know at all. But make sure, and actually hold up, I feel like because of the mostly ghostly, I'm looking a little mostly ghostly. There we go. Can we get into the moment now? Can we get into the moment? Can we get into the fantasy? But anyways, stay very tuned for another Becoming with Sajay episode coming next month in the month of June. As mentioned, I think I may take a little pause on Drag Race Girls and do a little queer icon moment because the Preferred Stars is having a queer icon moment. So why not the Becoming channel anyways? Make sure to follow me on all of my socials at The Only Preferred for brand new looks such as this. I'm sure a TikTok of this will be out very, very soon. Make sure to follow along for that. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for a brand new video on the channel every single Sunday. And until next time, stay preferred, stay queer, and always stay diabolical. Ooh.